Hello everyone, and today we're going to be doing a quarterly content plan. A little bit excited because this is a new series that we'll be doing. So with the VIP mastermind group, we're going to do these quarterly content plans every quarter. So this particular quarter is going to be months August. A few people coming a bit late today. August, September, and October. So August, September, and October content plan today. And every 4 months, we'll map out 3 months of content. I've already spoken to a few of you, and you are like over the moon with this new series. So besides book club, which is on the first Monday of every week, we've now also got the quarterly content plan, which we're going to be doing in these sessions, which basically leaves our one-on-one sessions then for strategy, which is awesome. So I don't know if you saw my email that I went out this morning. I had an email scheduled, and literally at like 8:52, and I think it was scheduled for 9, I went in and quickly changed it because I've got little Milo staying with me at the moment. And this morning, I'm all ready to go to the gym. I've got this big booty session that's planned at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning. If any of you know Kingsley, it's his daughter who runs it. She is a fantastic trainer at the gym. And I'm all excited. You've got to book in. It's always fully booked. 15 minutes to go to leave the house. And my youngest daughter, Hannah, screams and goes, "Ah!" The dog's vomited all over her new linen. And we just changed in linen yesterday, white linen. Vomited all over the linen, vomited all over the floor. And I'm like, I've got to go to the gym. So thank goodness, teamwork. Managed to rinse it, sort it all out. Sandy helped, and I was able to get to the gym in time to get it done. And then I was like, this is why you've got to have your social media content mapped out, because unexpected inconveniences happen all the time, right? Unexpected inconveniences. So if I didn't have everything organized and everything sorted, I would have had to cancel my session and it just wouldn't have happened. And it just got me thinking how I spoke to these three young guys last week. They're cinematographers, and they said to me, they've got no social media, they've got no personal branding, they've got no business branding, but they're running an event and they've got all this money that they're going to use to hold this event and show all their work. And I said, how much money do you have for marketing? And they went, we don't have any money for marketing. And I went, but how are you going to get people to the events? Because you're using all the money for the event and you're all excited about the event, but you're not going to have anyone at the event. And because they've got no social media, no content, no email marketing, no nothing, but I think it was around $10,000 that they were going to be spending on this event and on the actual gallery. And I went, you really should be investing in that money with me so we can at least map out your content plan to get people to the event. Else it's not going to work, right? They're not going to sell anything. So, and all that money is going to go down the drain. And that's why I thought, so I thought that was a good metaphor this morning. And that's why I shared it. And I got up literally at a couple minutes before it was about to be scheduled and run. And I just changed my entire email and made it all about Milo. And even my VA messaged me and went, I saw you change the email. And that was very clever because Milo would have stolen the show. And I went, yep, content's all about stealing the show. So this morning's email was a lot more engaging than the previous one that we had. So having a quarterly content plan is going to help you not miss the boat or miss your booty session. And how often does it just happen in business? So by having a content plan, it means you can stay on top of it. And when we talk about content plan, we're not just talking about content and spitting it out. We're talking about strategy. We're talking about a strategy which basically has the outcome in mind. Why are we creating this content? What is the result that we want from this content? What is the outcome that we want? So having it all mapped out and pre-scheduled can be a complete game changer for your business. And it completely streamline your marketing strategy, increase your efficiency, and save time. Believe it or not, it is easier to sit and bulk do your content. And if you ask Jody from Mama Chat, if you have a look at her content, she does phenomenal content and she does it monthly in advance. Because you get into the creative juices. Jane, you're a creative. Don't you just get more and more creative? It's kind of addictive. You start doodling and you just want to doodle all day. Doodle all day, that should be a song. And it's exactly like that.
Because that's the serotonin in your brain going off, which is the addictive brain chemical.
Excellent. So, I once spoke to one of my clients, a client a while back, and she said to me, a business coach had said to her, only ever do something for 20 minutes and then you'll lose your mojo. So go change it and do something else. I can tell you right now that only after about 20 minutes am I actually starting to get my juices flowing. And then I get into it and then I can just go for hours. So, perhaps it's individual. So perhaps listen to your body and get to know yourself. But if I had to map out 20 minutes, it would be very inefficient for me. Mapping it out and doing it over an hour or 2 hours and mapping out a whole board in detail, it does get your creativity juices flowing. And it's like, oh, I could do this. No, I can do this. And I can do this. And it's just more and more and more. So it does become more efficient, certainly does save time in the long run. So you can organize your content weekly, monthly, or quarterly. When I had the Health, Wellness, and Fitness Center, and I had the two businesses, I had this business as well, I would do content mapped out for the week. So I used to do it weekly. It was quite exhausting because I did it on a Sunday. So I'd map out all my content for the Health, Wellness, and Fitness business. Then I do all my content for my other business. And something that I learn and I still teach is don't do that on the same day. They're two different brains. If I'd done it on 2 separate days, it would have been a lot better. So if you've got 2 businesses, focus on them on different days, because that is quite exhausting when really your audience and your offer is very different. So regardless of what you do, you want to make sure that that you do have some sort of a content calendar, you're mapping things out so that you can keep track of your content, because else what happens is you do the same. And if you do the same fluffy general stuff all the time, you're going to result in nothing. So it's a way for you to keep track of what you have produced and what you've published. So why is content planning king? Okay, as we said, it does save time. It also does help with mistakes because you'll start noticing mistakes. It's going to be more effective because you strategically doing it from a big picture so that you don't miss the boat. You'll ensure that you have consistency so that you do build relationships and gain traction. And when we look at the buyer's persona, that will make sense, because it's kind of like if you're talking about one thing and then talk about another thing, you confuse the customer. So it's important to know that if you're trying to sell this thing, that all your content backs and builds that relationship to get people to that point. And that is why you'll only ever see that I'm really only ever promoting one thing at a time. So there's consistency in that and there's repetition in that, so the relationship doesn't dissolve. Why is content king? Well, it leaves no stone left unturned. So you'll start to identify gaps. So what happens is if you're doing quotes all the time or success stories all the time, and you're leaving out the other parts of your content plan that are necessary in order to get a yes. So if you're just doing tips or you're just doing statistics, you're going to get a no. You've got to make sure that that you are fulfilling the entire the entire content bucket, which is what I like to call it. Second to last, you can review and identify the effectiveness of it. So, it drives me nuts when someone says to me, I don't know if my strategy is working. And I go, well, what's your strategy? And they go, oh, I just kind of post when I feel like it. And, when I got something coming up, it just kind of like, I'm like, well, you don't have a strategy. You haven't explored days, times, content, channels, platforms, types. So you can't really review a strategy if you don't have a strategy. So it really does help you identify kinks within your strategy or roadblocks. And the last one is it does help with creativity, which is what I spoke about earlier. It does become addictive. So what type of content should you include in your content calendar? So when we sit down and we do our content bucket, these are just some of the things that we should do, okay? And remember, this is going to be converted into a blog on chantelgerardi.com.au. So all the links and all the resources will be there if you don't want to take notes. For myself personally, I do, but it's up to you. So number one is make sure that you include articles or blogs, so basically long form. There are some people that need long form content in order to get a yes. And of course, you can repurpose it then for your website as well, or for a newsletter. Short form tips. So, my 3 top tips, my 5 top tips, my biggest tip 4, which would be great. Number 3 is promotions, okay? So if you're launching something, if you have a new product or a feature, maybe you've got an offer, a program, a course, a competition, those are your promotional things. Obviously, you can't be selling all the time, so it's important to have a bit from your entire content bucket. Number 4 is events. So are you running a webinar? Maybe you've got a networking event, a program, a challenge. Number 5 would be rejigging old content. So don't forget that you can go onto your Facebook page in settings and you can download your page content. When you download your page content, you can download everything. Then you can go and rejig some of that old content so that it can not just be for that year, but you can reuse it in years to come. Number 6 is video content. So obviously you want to ensure that you are taking time to do video content. Number 7 would be seasonal, trending, and relevant, which is really, really, really important. You know, I spoke about the poo emoji the whole way through the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, because the poo emoji has the biggest open rate. So you want to make sure that, you know, your content is seasonal, trending, and relevant. The next one would be case studies, so success stories. After that, we've got podcasts, if you have one or if you're on someone else's. You then also need to be sharing personal and business updates. So you can't just be talking about you and your dog all the time, but sometimes you should be doing that. And with business updates, you do need to be letting people know what's changing in your business, what's coming up, what are you working with, so that they can be involved in the process. After that, we've got building your list. So this is a fundamental part that a lot of people forget to do, but all of us should have lead magnets, because I work with you to create lead magnets or free resources. And you consistently need to be sharing those on your social media in order to be getting people to give you an email address so that you're collecting email addresses. So you could do that by having an opt-in, a free resource or ebook, by getting people to book in a call, registering for a webinar, joining a competition, or even just completing the Contact Us form. After that, we have statistics. So we can't forget the left brain people. So sharing statistics is really important, something to validate what it is that you do. You also need to be creating engagement posts. So posts where we ask your audience for feedback or insight so that you're getting a response from them, engaging them. Then you need to mention your services. And we talk about mentioning your services or your product. We talk about the outcomes of the product for the customer and your point of difference. That is what marketing is about. Your points of difference and the outcome for the client. Tattoo that on your forehead. That actually wouldn't work for me because I don't look at myself besides on Zoom. That would be the only time I'd see it. I'd have to put it somewhere else. Put it on the fridge door, on the coffee machine. Second to last, we've got beliefs and values. We have to get people to believe what you believe. If they don't believe what you believe, they're not going to buy from you. So you can do that through quotes, motivational quotes, handling objections, or giving your opinion on something, sharing those beliefs. And the last one is collaborations and joint ventures. So, you know, going in and sharing collaborations, joint ventures, any other credibility that you may have, again, to get a yes from what it is that you're trying to achieve in the next quarter. So just think for a second, right? What are you hoping to achieve in the next quarter? If I said to you, right, we've got August, we've got September, August, September, October. In August, September, October, just stop for a second, think. In August, what do I want to achieve? Think about how many clients or how many products you want to sell. How many people do you want on your email list? How many more likes and engagement do you want on all of your profiles? What referral partners do you have? What type of collaborations? Thanks, Tara. Can your hubby give me some? Can I have my post-workout meal too, Tara? Thank you. So you need to be considering, you know, what do you want to achieve over the next 3 months? If you don't know, how is your content going to know? How is the universe going to know? How's your customers going to know, right? So you need to work it out and go, what do I want to achieve in the next quarter? And be really specific around that as well. Now, how do you organize your content? And remember, content relevance is important, and it has to be strategically done. So it has to have an outcome in mind. Okay, the outcome in mind. Do you want people to go to a webinar? Do you want people to sign up from that webinar? If you tell me visibility, I'll probably shoot you, because visibility is not what we want. That's not the outcome. What is the outcome of visibility? The outcome of visibility would be a sale. The outcome of registrations for a webinar would be a sale. The outcomes of registration for a competition or pre-sale or pre-launch would be sales. How many sales? So you need to be having a look at that. And then go, well, how am I going to achieve that? All right. You can also look for gaps as well. So capacity gaps. So for someone like Alison only has availability on specific days in her rooms. So it's then looking at what appointments need filling and going to the marketplace specifically looking to fill those appointments. There's no point if Alison's full to try and get more one-on-one clients. It would be looking at going, well, what do I need to do? Do I sell products? You know, what am I going to get them to do? Because right now, like, I'm booked out for the next 3 months. So, you know, have a look at capacity and go, how am I going to fill those spots? I'm working with a couple of restaurants at the moment, and each of the restaurants is different. One's a cafe, and then we've got 3 other, so the 3 restaurants, 1 cafe. The cafe doesn't do very well. The 1 restaurant is full, too full, like they're struggling to get the food out on time. And then there's another 2 restaurants that need filling. So we've got to come up with different promotions for each of those to fill them up, to get the right people in the door to spend more. And your content plan needs to work around that. Okay, so how do we organize your content calendar with purpose so that it can be relevant? Well, firstly, when I do it, and I use Trello to map out my board. Some people use Canva. Canva's great. They actually do have a scheduling tool in there. You can map it out and then not allow it to post to Facebook, which is what I would recommend. So you can visually see it if that's how you like to work. I use Trello now for everything, so I love it, but you know, it's up to you. But you need to have a captivating headline that's going to stop the right person from scrolling. Okay, a captivating headline that's going to stop the right person from scrolling. So for example, with this 1 restaurant, there's no one in the restaurant from like 4:30 until 6 o'clock, right? And then it gets packed. So how do we get more people in the restaurant between 4:30 and 6? Well, who's going to come between 4:30 and 6? People with small children. Okay, because their kids eat earlier. But what's the problem that people have with kids that eat earlier? Well, they got to feed their kids and it's expensive. So why don't we do what do we think about doing? Oh, kids meal, kids eat for free, or 1 kid eats for free during that time, or kids meals are only $8. So coming up with a promotion that's going to get people between 4:30 and 6 o'clock in the door, and you've got to have a captivating headline that stops the right person and gets them in. Tired of cooking for the family? Bring in your kids, they're on us. Between 4:30 and 5:30 weekdays. Okay, so your captivating headline, really important. Number 2, you've got to work out what the type of content is that you're going to be creating. So are you going to send them to a link? Are you going to share a video? Maybe there's a promotional code. Do you want them to private message you? Do you, you know, what is the, where are you sending them to? The actual sort of the action part of the call to action. Number 3 would be the buying stage or timeline that they're in. So this is really important. If I know that I've got like an event coming up and it's in 3 weeks' time, we do a lot of in the first week, hi, this is me, this is my journey, this is my business, because that's how you build a relationship, right? Same like dating. It's about getting to know me. Week 6, then I would go into my credibility and sharing some tips and expertise. And then on the 3rd one, I would share some success stories and say, now sign up. Okay, so it has to be logical. So we're talking about the buyer's persona, and I'll take you to a resource now, but it's about mapping out that timeline so they're getting a lot of it, so they feel like they know you, can trust you, and then you'll get a yes from them. You then need to talk about, you then need to record what channel you're going to post on, because obviously Instagram's picture-based, it's more towards men. It's got hashtags, Facebook's longer form, older women than Instagram. So you need to make sure you're putting the right content in the right places. So yes, we can repurpose content, but it still needs to be relevant for that audience and the platform. The call to action, and this part over here is the call more than the action part. So the first one was, what's the action you want them to take, the physical action, but the call is, how are you going to verbalize that action? So, only between 4:30 and 5:30 weekdays. It's the words that are going to compel them, the call, so that they actually take action. Kind of like a kookaburra when they're doing like their mating call. It's like the call that's going to get the action. So, and then number 6 is the description or the about, or basically the content part of it. Okay, so the meat of that actual post. And obviously it needs to include their pain point and the solution that you're offering. So we're going to go to, I just want to share with you, I did give you those, but that's not what I want to show you right now. Here we go. Buying phases. And I will share this with you in the, so when you understand buying phases, what everybody goes through, and think about yourself when you're making a decision to purchase something. Okay, these are the phases you go through. So clarity, firstly, you completely clear on what they're offering. If you're not clear, you're not going to move to the next part. Consideration. Now that I'm clear on what you're saying, I need to consider you based on your brand and your credibility. Number 3 is then, what's the next step, the compelling parts. Number 4 in the would be the converting, and then cross-selling and cheerleading. But from a content part, clarity is really important. Consideration, so building that brand and credibility, and then compelling them to take action. So if we understand that that's the process of what someone goes through when they are doing their content, then this is really relevant. Okay. Let's go back here. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Sorry, I've lost you. Don't know why. There we go. Orange and losing you. All right. So, so 3 of the best tools for creating a content plan. This is really cool. These are amazing tools I just found. Oh, no, these ones are not the amazing ones. I'm about to share with you the amazing ones. Firstly, I love the project management Trello. So I love using Trello to map it out. I'm happy to show you my Trello board. Although it's a bit messy at the moment because we're in transition. But number 2 is Canva. Canva is fantastic for mapping out your branding images. And number 3 is make sure that you've got a system in place, something that's user-friendly that you can go and map these things out. I did find an amazing example by a company, and they used an Excel spreadsheet. And I actually loved the look of the Excel spreadsheet. So I am also considering the way that they do it. So I'll share an example of that one in the VIP group. Now, I just want to say that although we're mapping out the content elsewhere, I'm not a big fan of using scheduling tools to then put it in. It's recently been announced that Facebook and Instagram are not happy with Hootsuite. Hootsuite are passing on. So they're really slowing down the reach. So although it looks great and it works great, ideally we want to be using the own platforms for scheduling. And that just means that you've got to put in your calendar to execute it daily. And if you've got an issue with going in and spending 10 to 20 minutes every day on your marketing, you don't deserve new clients. So just, make sure that you post directly to your platforms. Okay, so keyword search tools. These were amazing. Let me see where it is. There we go. Okay, so over here we've got, whoa, not there. So I've got 4 of them, okay? Number 1 is Google Trends. This one's pretty cool. I've actually set it up. So there's certain words that you can put in. So if I go trending Gold Coast or trending in the world, Google will actually send me an email daily with those trends. So people go, how did you know that about Facebook? Well, it's because I'm asking Google to send me things about Facebook daily. So, but you can go into Trends Google and you can put in a topic and you can actually see where in the world and you can actually specify what people are actually interested in and talking about right now, which is really, really interesting. Okay, so if I go rust protection. So you can have a look in Australia, you can have a look around the world, you can look in the past 12 months, you can look at different categories, and you can compare it to other words as well. So this was a really nifty tool. You can also look at it in the states. So if you particularly only want to service particular states or regions, it would be really important. But you can have a look at related topics as well in that. So exploring Google Trends. I mean, Google is like, Google, for goodness sake. I'll make sure that you get that link. For the next one, we've got answerthepublic.com. I'm not going to share that one with you because you know how to use it. The next one that I discovered was called questiondb.iou. And you can say, what topic are you writing about? So if I go rust protection, I can actually see all the questions that people are putting into Google around rust protection, which is super awesome. It does take a while because it's scanning the whole of Google. And I think with this one, you can actually decide whether or not you want to, which area you actually want to search that in as well. There we go. So there is a paid version. This is the free version. But if you were looking at, captivating headlines that stop the right person, these are the questions that people are asking. And then if we go to the last one that I found, keyword tool. I think I have shared this one with you previously in one of our other ones. You can have a look and see what people are actually searching about with the keywords that people are using. So those were pretty cool. Who thinks they're cool? I think they're amazing. All right, cool. So the next thing that we're going to do is I have shared these with you. You can see how messy my dashboard is. I've given you August, September, October. I think I actually gave you August, September, October, November, December. There are some international days that are here. However, I have also found these for you. This one is really cool. It's an Australian special events calendar. And it's all different events all over the country, which is awesome. So for example, if someone like Tara is looking for specific, caravanning events or markets or expos, there's that one, Australian special events. This one over here is called icommunity.com.au calendar, and it's really awesome. It's got a great outline of other events. So National Desexing Month. So if you're veterinarian, that would be a good one for you. Dry July, Jill Eye. So Eye Foundation, Donate Life Week. This one's got amazing amount of additional special days on here. Obviously, you only want to be sharing ones that are relevant to your audience and what you're trying to promote. And the last one that I found, which was fantastic, is called finder.com.au. Now, finder.com is Australian sale events in 2022. So you can go in here and you can go, right, what sales are there in August? And they've already told you, last chance winter sales, after payday sales, Father's Day is in September, Vogue online shopping night, October is the Black Friday early bird sales. November, Singles Day, Diwali, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I'll share those with you. They're great ones for Australia, so they can help you map out what it is that you are wanting to sell or achieve. But when you've got your calendar and you've mapped it all out, it's important for you to put in special days. Other days that I consider are the school holidays. So for me, I don't run programs in the school holidays because the likelihood of people showing up for webinars and group events is not very common for my business. So I just don't run them. I run all my webinars and my programs in the school terms. So this is Queensland, guys, because obviously I'm in Queensland. So check your own dates, but map out your school holidays, block them out so that you're not running any promotions during there, unless you're a kids-focused business. If you are a kids-focused business, you'd want to be providing activities like Jane, who does art classes. They are going to be looking to keep their kids entertained during the school holidays. So for Jane, that would be a time for her to promote. Then looking at public holidays, so I just went and had a look again, just Gold Coast ones, but the Royal Queensland Show in Brisbane, we've got the Royal Queensland Show Gold Coast Day on the 26th of August. And I just go and I map my calendar out so people can't book on those days, because what I find is they don't show up on those days unless they're from other states. And then the Queen's birthday, of course, which is different in all different states. So make sure that you have a look. So first thing I do is I get all of the general ones sort of out of the way, and I go, right, we've mapped out school holidays, mapped out public holidays. It doesn't leave much time left in the school term for you to go. You know, look at all the special days. So for our promotional dates to prepare content for, September is all about spring. So think about how you can, you know, make that relevant in your business. October obviously is all about Halloween, and November is really about the Black Friday sales, which is really important. So over here, having a look at this, we do have August, we've got end of winter sales. We've got Afterpay Day, which is on the 18th to 21st of August. Again, if you sell things on Afterpay, then you should be promoting on Afterpay Day. Father's Day is the 5th of September. Halloween's 31st of October. Singles Day is 11th of November. Black Friday's 25th. Cyber Monday's 28th of November. So looking at those dates, we then look backwards and go, for me, I always say it's about a 3-week promotion. So you would go 3 weeks back from that and go, if I'm having a Father's Day sale on the 5th of September, I've got to go back 3 weeks. I need to have an offer. I need to have a captivating headline that's going to stop the right person from scrolling. It's not going to be dad. It's going to be mum who's scrolling to buy presents for the dads. So a captivating headline that's going to stop mum from scrolling. And then I have to build my know, like, and trust over the 3-week period, because they don't just buy. Remember, impulse buying is down. They're not just going to buy. You need to nurture them through that content bucket over the 3 weeks in order to get them to buy a Father's Day present. Guys, the other thing that you must not forget over here is postage times. So working back from postage times. So working back from postage times, because where you're not really selling until the 5th of September, you're probably selling until the week before that. But then you would have pickups when postage ends. And always cater for the worst case scenario when it comes to that. So now what I'll do is I'll take you to my Trello board and I'll just show you what I do with my events, or how I start with the events. So if you just have a look on the left-hand side over here, I map it out. I put my images in first. So I always make sure that I have got my image in here. I've got the date. I've got the due date of when it is. If I've got other videos or resources or content that will go in here. This one hasn't got content because it's actually just reproduced on the website, so I don't need it. So I better show you another one. Let's do this one. So this webinar over here, it's a webinar. So I've got that one listed on what the event is. I dump the graphics in here. I then have the captivating headline, the pain, the promise, who this is for, the dates, the times, the show up bonuses, the call to action links, and any other images to support it will go in here. So I'll dump the content in there. And then we will go, I'll just show you an example of my email list. Here we go, email marketing schedule. I'll go to August. So over here in August, I've got my dates and I write what needs to go out. So on Monday the 1st in the morning, I need to send you all an email about the VIP session being on essentialism. So the ones that are in there already, I go and I write those email ones out so I know what email campaigns need to go. So I love just doing it as a checklist. It's really awesome. You can click, you can carry, you can drag them around, but you could even create another one. You could do one for Facebook, one for Instagram, and you can just duplicate them, which is really easy as well. And then you map it backwards. So I want to show you in Trello this calendar power up button. When you push calendar power up, if you put a due date, it will actually have all the content in here. So for those of you who want to visually see it in advance, when you write it on the Trello boards, if you put a due date on it and then push calendar power up, it will take these events with due dates and put them on here, which gives you a nice way to visually map it out. Now you can, and I think it's a paid feature, but you can have it that it goes straight from Trello onto Facebook. I know that Rachel Gascoigne has used it, but remember, it does slow down your engagement by using third-party providers. All right. So Daryl, yes, powerful resources. Yes, super powerful resources.